The next case is Darren Christopher Hill versus auto owners. Anyone present?
Darren Hill, Your Honor.
David Barnes here for auto owners, Your Honor.
I apologize. When I got the file last night, I did e-sign your order compelled that came back way back 11/14. We had discussed it on court, but you did not get the e-signed copy, so you will be getting that after today. I reviewed the responses of Mr. Darren Hill, and I deemed that, and you can make the arguments if you want, if you disagree with my judgment, but I reviewed them to the best of my ability. It looks like he made a good faith effort. Would you agree, Mr. Barnes, that he has made a good faith effort to answer your interrogatories, the request for production and the request for admission that you listed on this order?
Actually, no, Your Honor. There are numerous ones that the responses are simply N/A. For example, so I would say no.
Okay, point me to some, because I saw a lot of answers and I saw where it kind of got drilled down to a very small number that you all are in a disagreement about. Would you agree with that? I
certainly would agree with that, Your Honor. And I will say that Mr. Hill sat for a deposition as well.
He is set for a deposition?
He did. And so, essentially what I'm looking for are responses to those that he did not respond to, and there are several of them, and I'm happy to
share with the court, sir. First of all, I want to ask Mr. Hill. Mr. Hill, yes, do you have the document in front of you? Because I literally want you to go through it right now with it. I can't spend a lot of time on this. Again, we'd have to do a different hearing docket, but he's going to go through some that even with the deposition, you said he has already sat for the deposition?
He did, Your Honor.
And you still have things you don't know that you need to know?
Yes, Your Honor, and or I simply want them in writing to make sure that I've got the sufficient response.
Okay, would you point those out to the court? And Mr. Hill, I will hear you in a moment, but I'm asking.
I got the entire, I have it in hand, so we can go over it right in person.
Wait a minute, sir. What is this you're showing me?
The interrogatories that he's saying that he has issues with, which we went over multiple times. I have it printed out right here in front of me.
And that's what I was saying. Will you please, I'm going to allow him to go through, not every single one, but I really need to know the key issues that you still don't know, because I deemed it was good faith, but you're telling me you disagree. We know I have the final answer, but if you can show me why you disagree, I am willing to hear Mr. Barnes. So let's go. I've got the documents in front of me. Are we starting with interrogatories?
We can start with the interrogatories, Your Honor.
Give me some examples.
You start with 16, with 22, with 20.
Okay, hold on. No, literally, I want to look at them right now. Here's something weird. So I noticed your numbers last night when I was looking through all of this. So my interrogatory goes number 15, and then there's an answer, and then it jumps to number 17. Where is 16? Or if these are his answers, he literally just didn't even put the number. He just skipped over it?
You know
I have the right copy?
Your Honor, I'm looking at them in front of me here, and I see at the top of a page interrogatory 16, and then the answer, which was N/A.
Okay, sir. Do you have the document, Mr. Hill, that says the N/A? Because it's most important that you have it. Will you give me an example of what that question was, Mr. Barnes?
Yep, the question was, state whether you have made any statements written or oral to anyone regarding the damage to your property or auto owners insurance company's handling of your claim, and if so, and identify to whom the statements were made, when they were made, and the substance of those statements.
How is that not applicable, Mr. Hill?
The only conversations that I've had was with Mr. Barnes and the adjuster. I mean,
why couldn't you just answer it that way instead of putting NA? That was your answer that you just gave to the court. That was an answer.
But I thought that should have been well acknowledged, but I took that as
no, sir, you can't. No, let me just stop.
I had outside conversations with family members or random strangers, like
okay. Can I stop you and say relevant, number one, and can I stop you and say that NA means not applicable, which means you don't agree that it is relevant. And so I would disagree with that. Now, I don't think you have to talk about everybody you talk to about this situation, but NA is not acceptable when you have an answer because you just gave an answer to the court. Give me another example, sir. Again, I'm not going to go over a whole lot. I have a huge docket today. Give me another example of something key that you still do not have from him.
Understood, Your Honor. Interrogatory 17, describe in detail any alleged bad faith actions by auto owners insurance company in handling your claim, including specific dates and descriptions of such actions. Answer blank.
I've got answer between November 2024 through March 2025, complete runaround, withholding contact information. I think it's supposed to be deceptive dialogue, which in my opinion is not a valid answer, but I'm saying I do show an answer to interrogatory number 17. Again, do I have the same documents that you all have?
That was the answer. I got the exact same document, Your Honor. That was the answer.
I'm not sure what's going on. But sir, again, let me share with you that he is asking you, he said, specific dates and times of the actions that they showed bad faith. You just gave a general blurb, runaround, withholding contact information, deceptive dialogue. That's not what he asked. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I mean, but there were so many instances of bad faith that I can't chronologically
give
recall
him
that.
some. Do you realize you are asking for, well, you initially started asking for a jury trial. And so do you realize if you go to trial, you have to answer these questions? So
Yeah, I mean, and it would be answered the same way that I written the answer.
That's not going to be acceptable. I'm telling you from the court, that's not going to be acceptable. I'm telling you now.
Okay. Well, it was during that entire span of time and beyond that there were multiple instances of bad faith, and I can recall specifically, maybe a few specifically.
Okay.
But I mean, we're well over a year in dealing with this, and there has been multiple instances of bad faith.
And sir, I've been here for almost a year. And this case is going on, and it's spinning and spinning and spinning and going nowhere. So I am now stating, based on just two, that I see that you have not answered. I am now scratching out my judgment that you have filled this out in good faith. Sir, we've talked about you having an attorney on multiple occasions. You have chosen not to. You have chosen not to get an attorney as a pro se defendant who does not have a law degree, who does not have any law training that we have discussed on multiple times. And you don't have to get an attorney, sir. You do not have to seek legal advice, but I'm not going to allow you to make a mockery of this court. I'm not going to let you take up any more of my time in preparation for motions that you are filing and for you asking me. I think what I saw at one point was this is all over. Is it, help me out, Mr. Barnes, was it like $132?
Yeah, no.
I mean, what is the difference that he's asking for? It was something very small.
$2,500, Your Honor.
And sir, this case I'm serious. I started in this court February of last year, so I'm almost at a year. And for $2,500, there's $2,500 worth of paper that you filed. And you can do that. But the problem is you're not getting anywhere with the paper you're filing. And if you ultimately want a jury trial on this matter, I hope you understand that you have to prove your case. And when you get up on the stand and say not applicable or give some runaround answer, that is not going to be acceptable. So we're going to try this one more time, and then I think I'm going to consider contempt after this, Mr. Hill. Again, I have advised you over and over to seek legal advice, to seek an attorney. We're doing this one more time, and the next time you come and you do not have significant answers that have been asked for, I will hold you in contempt. The next court date is 30 days. We just gave somebody, right, ma'am?
Yes, and Your Honor, I asked Mr. Barnes specifically, could he go through these questions that he had questions about multiple times, and there was no response. The first time that he brought these to my attention, I highlighted each individual question, and I asked him, could he specifically break down the understanding for me? He wouldn't reply.
Sir, you have also been deposed, and Mr. Barnes, will you share with me when you all did the deposition, did you get up with the same results?
I had a series of questions that were, the answers were very difficult to understand, Your Honor, or evasive. Let me say this, Your Honor, in response to what was just said. I tried my best through a long email to Mr. Hill to lay out what my concerns were with these discovery responses following our last hearing, and what I got in response, and I quote, "My answers are stated exactly as I intended," is what I got in response, Your Honor.
Very good. So, sir, I don't think I've ever held anybody in contempt out of this court. I don't want to hold you in contempt. This is your case. You have to prove your case. And this is the end of your time today. Are you all, please check and see if you all are available on my 30-day date, which is February the 6th at 11:30. I'm asking for you to check your calendar, Mr. Hill.
I am. What was the date again? I'm writing it down.
February 6th on my civil motion hour, which is at 11:30, and that is going to be for complete answers or a contempt hearing. And you will be the one that will be involved in the potential contempt hearing, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to reach out to Mr. Barnes again, and if he can just give me a better understanding of what it is exactly, and I'll fill it in.
And just know that he is not your attorney. So
I understand that, but what he's requesting,
but he does not have to explain the law to you.
no, not the law, but what's questions in specific, so I'll make sure that I get all the questions that he says that he has questions about. So I'm going to reach out to Mr. Barnes.
I will see you all back 2/6/11:30. Thank you. You're excused. Have a great day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Mr. Barnes, I'm going to reach out to you.
Yep. Okay. Go! Will you hand me my screen box? Now go.
In-Town Suites versus Arthur Meredith.
Right, say your name.
Yes, Arthur Meredith.
And Amanda McCubbins.
Okay, and I'm sorry, Arthur Meredith and all occupants. So this relates to the property at 60. Are you all still residing there?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I can ask and not say that they have to give you this opportunity, but are you trying to pay everything that you owe and stay there, or are you trying to move out?
I'm trying to stay right now. It's under investigation. They are with me. There's a lot going on. So, I mean.
That this is only about possession of property, so this is only about the failure to pay.
Okay, no, I don't want to move
out. I'm going to
right
take testimony very strict about whether or not you've paid. So
okay, no, I have not paid, but I want to stay.
I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to their attorney because it looks like we're going to have a hearing today. If you're not willing to pay everything you owe, and they don't have to accept that. So I just want to confirm, Miss Amanda. I don't mean to take over, Miss Amanda. I keep forgetting your name. I'm so sorry. Are you still willing to take any payment from these occupants?
No, we're just doing vacate only.
Thank you so much, ma'am. All right. So again, their right is to either have the hearing today, and if I hear sufficient testimony that you have failed to pay, including your admission already that you did not pay, you could be subjected to an eviction judgment and have 7 days to vacate. Then the alternative, they are extending to you all a standard agreement to vacate only, which means you have the 7 days to move out on your own and the case can be dismissed and you won't have the eviction judgment on your record. So with that being said, would you like to proceed with the hearing or would you like to accept the standard agreement?
What do I do? I want to appeal it. So, I mean, how do I do this?
Ask her.
If you want to appeal, you cannot take the standard agreement. As I stated,
I want to appeal
earlier,
it. Yeah, I want to appeal it.
I want to have a full eviction hearing today, Ms. Burnett, your witness, and then you'll want to make sure you hear the testimony. You'll have an opportunity to also ask questions of Miss Amanda, and then I'll allow you to make any and I also want to confirm, who am I speaking with? This is Amanda McCubbins?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then let me go ahead and swear you in when you start asking questions should you start giving testimony. Raise your right hand.
Yes. Yes, I do.
All right. So go ahead, Miss Burnett. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you to ask questions of Miss Amanda, please.
Okay. Amanda, please state your name for the record.
I'm Amanda McCubbins.
Oh, sorry. I think I meant Amanda from In
No,
Town.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
We'll start with the In-Town Suites representative.
Okay. Amanda from In Town, please state your name for the record.
Amanda Boley?
And are you the landlord or property manager of 6?
Yes.
And did you have an agreement with Mr. Meredith and the occupants to receive payment on the first of each day? Or sorry, week. I looked at the wrong thing.
It's okay.
Yes, it was a weekly payment.
Okay. And have you received any payment from them?
I have not.
And did you issue notice to vacate on November 10th?
To pay or vacate, it's a 7-day notice, Miss Burnett. It's got to be to pay or vacate for a 7-day notice.
Excuse me, to pay or vacate on November 10th, 2025.
Yes.
And as of today, have you received any payment and are they still on the property?
I have not received payment, and yes, they're still on the property.
Okay, and when
Actually, I need to know. I got a question. Is it a 7-day or 14-day? Do you know?
Ours is a 7-day.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Because it's beyond 7 days. But this was the notice on the things on the complaints November 10th, and it was filed on November 20th. So thank you for that clarification, Ms. Bully. Go ahead, Ms. Burnett.
Okay, and when was the last time you checked that they were still on the premises?
I saw her yesterday.
Okay, submit for judgment, Your Honor.
All right, actually, we're going to tender the witness to Ms. McCubbins first. All right. So go ahead, Ms. McCubbins. At this time, you can ask any questions you may have of Ms. Bully related to the allegations of this complaint. It is failure to pay and then failure to vacate upon breach of that agreement.
Okay. For one, I have all my receipts. I don't pay weekly. I've only paid a handful of times weekly. It's daily. I have pictures where she has me cash app her my money sometimes, and she lets me go days without paying and then pay a couple times.
Are you going to ask any questions? Ms. McCubbins, are you going to ask any questions of Ms. Bully?
I don't know that, but I'm confused on my rent. I cash app Amanda. Okay, Amanda, do you have it where I cash apped you money for my rent?
Yes, sometimes.
Okay, and I'm not supposed to do that. Why haven't you documented that?
Is there?
Why haven't you documented
Ask one question. Ask one question at a time.
Okay, I'm sorry. Why haven't you documented that with them?
Every time you've given money for Cash App, I've used it on your folio for your payment.
No, I've never seen that. And what about?
That's her answer, Ms. McCubbins. This is about question answer.
Okay. I have another question. The day that we paid cash, she charged Steve's credit card, and Amanda, you charged his credit card and said it was an accident and you would fix it. You never did. You kept the money and you charged the credit card. Why? Why did you do that?
Because you had asked me to do that. I have proof of that as a text message.
I asked you to do
that.
Okay,
Ms. McCubbins, this is not how question and answer goes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay? What you need to do is tell me if you're asking her.
Okay.
When was the last time? Let me go ahead. Ms. McCubbins, when was the last time you paid to stay at this location?
I give her money randomly.
When was the last time? Listen to my very specific. No. I will not let you talk over me. I will ask that you answer my questions very specifically.
Okay.
When was the last time you paid to stay at this location?
I don't have an exact date. I just gave her cash in hand.
Well, that's going to be an issue because it is still your burden to prove that you paid. Okay.
I understand.
All right. So I'm going to note that you have no answer as to the last time you paid to stay here.
I'd have to go like in October, November. In November. I mean, I pay. She's. Okay. I don't pay weekly.
So your statement is you have not paid since maybe October or November of 2025, correct?
Yes, I'm dealing with corporate too, so.
Okay, that's not going to, that would be civil matters. That's not going to excuse you for eviction court purposes when it comes to possession of the property. You can always decide to move out and fight your civil case, but that is not what we do here in evictions court. Evictions court is about possession of the property. So again, I'm not saying that you can't fight corporate, but you may not be able to fight corporate and stay there if you're not paying. So,
okay. I'm sorry. I understand that. I just don't understand how her being a manager, how she can allow me to do that, cash up some money, pay certain days, and then not pay. And I mean, there's no record even that's true about any of the payment. None of that's true. I don't pay with her.
I'm not sure what her leniency was with you and how they may try to work things out with their residents and the people who stay there. That is not what is at issue before the court today. And nor is it going to make a valid defense for you today if you cannot show me any type of proof or ledgers to say I paid all these times and then there's nothing in their account to say I paid. That is not what you're telling me. And that is not,
I have not paid. I'm sorry. I have not paid.
So that's going to be your issue. That will be your issue on appeal as well. I'm just going to let you know now. You'll need to make a record of you paying and then them not accounting for payments you made, because this is about failure to pay. You're not going to be able to bring up on appeal issues you have with the way management acts and your corporate issues to be able to stay in a location where you have not paid.
No,
so I'm going to ask you really quick before I move towards, because we will keep this case moving. Do you have any evidence that you have paid and they did not account for that since October or November of 2025?
I have so many receipts. I don't know. It's not even true. What I owe. I don't know what I owe because she's lying. I don't pay weekly.
Okay. Thank you so much. So do you have any other questions to ask Ms. Bully?
Nope. I don't. I'm ready to get out of here.
Right. So then also,
we have to take a small
I would like to go ahead and talk to Mr. Arthur Meredith.
Yes, he wanted to speak to me.
Yes.
Sir, raise your right hand.
Yes, I do.
Sir, have you made any payments to In-Town Suites since November 10th of 2025?
No. The last one I remember was we did it in cash. It was for Thanksgiving, and then the cash was cash. I think it was 300 and something. Then it showed up on my debit card that it was taken out. Then too. So that's all I know. I don't. I told Amanda that I wanted my card to be clear off the budget so it wouldn't happen again.
Yes,
so
sir.
Far,
thank you.
It hasn't been used since then.
Okay, thank you. And I just want to confirm, Ms. Bully, in your accounting, what was the last noted payment you have for this unit?
11/1/25.
Last payment was 11/1/25.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Ms. Burnett, as far as your client, Ms. Bully, or the occupants, do you have any questions you would like to ask?
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Meredith, do you have any questions you would like to ask related to the failure to pay at this location?
But what I'm saying, I'm not obligated to pay it because I just did it for a couple times for Amanda McCubbins.
Okay. Are you residing there, Mr. Meredith?
No, I have never stayed here at nighttime. I just come by to the day, maybe bring her some food or groceries and stuff like that. But I haven't never stayed here at nighttime at all.
So, okay. Well, unfortunately, because you do stay there at sometimes, I mean, you're there.
No,
are you there?
I don't stay. I just come and go. Like I bring her dinner if she needs something, or I go to the grocery store. And yeah, I don't.
Do you have access, Mr. McCubbins? Do you have your own key card or access to the unit?
Yes, he does not have a key.
No, I'm not talking to you, Ms. McCubbins. I'm definitely talking to Mr. Meredith. Thank you. I'm not talking, Mr. Ms. McCubbins. I'm not talking to you, Mr. Meredith. Do you have your own? Okay. And so
I don't have no key.
Okay. Okay. It seems like I see a little bit more about the situation. Okay. And how did you get, Mr. Meredith, how did you get notice that this case was pending?
By Amanda McCubbin.
Okay. All right. Is Miss McCubbins related to you?
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Once you received notice of this, did you go to In-Town Suites and try to reconcile the account that's in your name?
Yes, I did. I told Amanda I want my credit card thing taken off being used because I haven't,
Did you say, when you say Amanda, you mean Miss Amanda McCubbin?
No.
Amanda at the front desk?
Yes.
Okay.
And she knows that because
okay.
We even went out, took her out to dinner a couple of times. We talked about this.
Well, I'm not saying that you guys didn't have a cordial, acquaintance at one point, but we're here now. All right.
Yeah.
So
I understand that.
Okay, but this is where we're at now. The concern I have now, Ms. Burnett, is that Mr. Meredith himself is not occupying the unit. I understand his name is on it.
I think we could go forward with an all occupants if Amanda from in town is.
Well, I don't think you'll be able to satisfy the occupancy for Mr. Meredith, but I do believe, that is definitely right because, again, my understanding there are occupants there from the testimony. It is most likely Miss McCubbins, but since she's not named on it, that is what the proof will allow for at this time. Okay. So the court finds that based on the testimony, I've heard today that Mr. Arthur McCubbin, Mr. Arthur Meredith is dismissed for, because he does not actually occupy the unit. However, based on all the testimony I've received today, that I've heard today, I find there is sufficient proof for an all occupants judgment. I'm going to be entering that today. So what that means, again, Miss McCubbins, are you listening, Miss McCubbins?
Yes, ma'am, I
I
am.
want you to understand that this means that the 7 days will run. Again, 7 days to completely vacate the unit. If not, it is an appealable order. However, I will tell you, you'll have significant hurdles. I'm going to keep on appeal because you don't have any other right to be there. You didn't rent this room. Someone rented it for you. Any other issues you have with corporate, you can still fight those should you feel, you feel you still have claims. But I understand that could very much be civil matters, not covered in eviction. So it'd probably be in your best interest to go ahead and start vacating that unit, because also on appeal, you would be required to pay rent as it becomes due into the court system. And there's going to be several issues I think you would still face on appeal. But again, that is your right as someone listed under all occupants and with no other legal obligation, perhaps, Well, you'll have your hurdles, but I'm just going to say that, okay? All occupants judgment is granted. Anything else at this time, Ms. Burnett?
No, Your Honor.
How about Genesee Village versus Charlotte Mance Spencer?
Right here, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank Your Honor, Adam Devlin, P72877 for plaintiff.
And ma'am, did you apply for rental assistance?
Well, initially, there was no monetary amount that I knew of that was attached, unless there's something else there.
I'm sorry. This is actually a termination, it looks like. Was that Mr. Devlin?
Yes, that is correct, Your Honor.
And I guess let's go through it. We did give an adjournment. Did you talk to legal services, ma'am?
I left a message and I haven't heard back, but I have filed a formal complaint initially before once I initially got the initial document. I have correspondence in regards to whatever it is supposed to be about. I don't agree with it. I expressed that in the correspondence, and I believe it was July, when I was at work and I was told there was some music playing or something, and I was at work. And so the initial complaint includes an alleged lease infraction for noise. And so I had a discussion online with the management, which would have been Ms. Hammonds there, and she did not consider anything that I was saying as usual. And I'm in this position, and there's other things that have transpired, but I would like to just have an opportunity to talk to legal aid before I speak too much, because I don't want to convey anything that doesn't need to be.
Yeah, they're pretty good about getting back to everybody. When did you call them?
I didn't call them when we were during court, because I was not aware that I needed to do anything at that moment until I got off. But I had a second court date with you, and I tried to get back on, and I was on for hours trying to wait for my time to be called, because I'm the plaintiff in an injury that I'm supposed to be swearing in a warrant. And so that was another thing. So I was trying to do both things, and called them and left them a message. The last message that I left them was yesterday, and no one's contacted me back. But I didn't do the chat thing that I saw you talking about earlier.
The link, yeah, the link to the legal services. Did you fill it out? Send it in?
No, I called and left a message.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know about the chat. I mean, I heard you mention it, but I didn't understand to do it at that moment.
Okay.
You didn't tell me, it was someone else you were speaking to, I think.
Yeah. Mr. Devlin, I guess it was adjourned from the January 6th date.
Your Honor, my client wants me to proceed with this today.
Okay.
Well, there has been a formal complaint filed to the Federal Housing Commission for discrimination, and I have a complaint on a claim number for that, and I have a person that is handling that.
Okay.
And that is also the information I left for legal aid.
Okay. So that sounds like quite frankly, a totally separate issue than this one.
Well, this is what this is. That is how I was rectifying this. Because it's only that. There's no reason for me to have them ask me for a writ to leave my property for nothing.
Okay, so let's, yeah, and I agree with that for nothing. So let's hear some testimony first, and we'll make a decision too. Mr. Devlin, is Ms. Hammonds your witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ma'am, I guess let's just do this over again. Why don't you raise your right hand again? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Devlin, you can proceed on this matter.
Ms. Hammonds, can you please say
I'm sorry, I was just going to tell Ms. Spencer to listen carefully, though. You may have some questions.
Could you please state your name for the record?
Marcia Hammonds.
Are you familiar with the books and records of Genesee Village Apartments?
Yes, I am.
Are you familiar with the books, records, and annotations for Charlotte Mance Spencer?
Yes.
Have you ever sent her a lease violation?
Yes.
Could you please list for me all the nature of the lease violations you've sent?
The most recent one on September 5th was that she had not registered an unauthorized occupant in her apartment by filling out an application and paying an application fee. And I have neighbors complaining that this person's been there since the 1st of July. We've seen him regularly there from that time till now. And we also continue to receive complaints regarding water. There's been 6 documented water leaks into the apartment below her. I have a video that we took as well as a video from the people below her. They have a hole in their bathroom ceiling, and it continuously happens. That the last one we had was December 15th, and it started October 19th. 6 times where they get water on their bathroom floor. We've thoroughly checked the plumbing, and we had Staley's Plumbing come out as well. And we have a video of her bathroom floor soaking wet, splashing when you walk on it, and around the toilet is dry. So it's not the toilet, and maintenance thoroughly checked the bathtub and sink plumbing. So it's them getting water on the floor, either by not closing the shower curtain or as well as a portable washer that she has in her bathroom. But the people below have complained no less than 6 times, and we've responded each time. And she gives us a hard time most of the time of going in to inspect what's going on. But the one that we have the video on, I accompanied the maintenance man. I was working on a Saturday and catching up on work when the call came in, and my maintenance guy on call, I accompanied him down to her apartment. I didn't enter the apartment. I stood at the door. Maintenance went in, saw the water all over the floor, and took a video.
In the ordinary, sorry, Ms. Hans, in the ordinary course of business, does maintenance make reports to you or into an electronic system?
Maintenance, they're notified electronically if it's after hours or on a weekend, and they go and take care of it. I have 3 work orders out of the 6 because it's an emergency, and they just go directly there, and a work
I just
order.
want her to stop lying.
Do they write reports after they adhere to the water leak reports? They write like business reports or like recap reports to you?
On 3 of the 6.
And you reviewed those prior to you coming to testify today?
Yes, and they're here present too as well if you need their testimony.
What are their names?
Andrew Davis. It's Eric Andrew Davis and Alex Culhane.
Are they on Zoom or are they in office with you?
They're here in the office with me.
Which one of them personally saw the water pooling on the floor?
Eric Davis.
All right, thank you. I have no other questions for Ms. Hammonds, and I would call Mr. Eric and Andre Davis. Unless, yeah, I'm jumping.
See if she's got any questions for Ms. Hammond. Ms. Hammond?
Can I say something?
Well, not say something. You got a chance. Well, they switched out people, but you've got a right to question Ms. Hammonds first. Do you have questions for her?
Well, what is happening is these are untruths, and
okay, but hold on. Just hold on. Just questions for her. I'll give you a chance to testify. Did you have questions for Ms. Hammonds?
I do.
Okay, so you're gonna have to swap out there with Ms. Hammonds again for me. And just questions. What questions do you have for her? Go ahead.
Ms. Hammond, so the Saturday that you allegedly were working, what date was that, and was I present in my home?
It was November 7th. I believe that's a Saturday. And you were not present.
Okay, so you gained entry to my home without me being present and without my permission?
Gained entry because of a water emergency.
Okay, that is not true. It's not because of a water emergency. That's been 12 times. Let me finish.
Ma'am, no. We're going to operate my way. Okay? You give her a chance to answer the question first. Okay? I'm going to unmute you, and you get a chance to ask her questions, but you can't interrupt her. Okay? Once the question's asked. So unmute again for me.
She said November 7th, and I wasn't present in my home.
Ma'am, I'm going to give you a chance to respond. Hold on. You're not going to talk over me. Okay?
No, I was just trying to verify what she said.
Okay, but don't listen. Just questions first, and then I'll give you a chance. She started to respond.
8th. I'm sorry.
Let her
November
respond.
8th.
I'm sorry, Ms. Hammonds, what?
I'm sorry, I'm correcting the date. It was November 8th. I have a lot of notes here on what's happened in that apartment.
Okay.
It was November 8th.
So when did the lease violation start?
My first complaint came on July 31st from a resident in that building talking about the man that's staying in your apartment, making them uncomfortable.
I didn't
And I
tell you
received-
anyone, there's no man, who told you there's a man staying in my apartment?
We've observed it and your neighbors have
No,
told
who
us.
told you that there was a man staying in my apartment? Because that's not true. And you're not being honest and you're just saying something to make it look real. I'm just asking a question. Who told you that there was a man living in my apartment?
Your neighbors.
Okay, my neighbors don't tell you what I do. So I'm not sure why you're telling me that, but it's not true. So the initial complaint that I got would have been in regards to a falsified infraction for lease infraction, which would have been for noise complaint while I was at my job. And so I have that complaint. I have evidence and or the correspondence that was in that regard. And so there was no complaint from any neighbor.
Ma'am, you gotta hold on. When I say to stop, you stop. I've got you muted again. You're muted. I'm gonna unmute you again. We're gonna operate this in my way, okay? When I say stop, you stop. You understand?
I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Okay, then it sounds like you do because you don't stop. You gotta
No,
stop
I didn't
when I
hear you.
say.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm just trying to get the point because this has been discriminatory and I have
Ma'am,
evidence and I don't have to
I'm gonna
speak.
give you a chance. I'm gonna give you a chance to talk. Just questions. I can't have you rambling on and on about things, okay?
I have documentation.
Any other questions for her?
Yeah, I did have questions. That's why I'm trying to get to the bottom of.
Well,
How
just ask
many,
the questions.
how many times has my apartment been entered into in regards to this alleged leak?
At least 6.
Okay, in what time frame?
From October 19th to December 15th.
Okay, there was 20 more times. And so there's not only 6, there's 20 additional times. When they first came into my apartment in regards to a leak, was it
That
not
was
for the
regarding
air?
the leak.
Was it not in regards to an air conditioning unit from
That was
outside?
another time. That was
Okay,
another
this is
time.
what I was told. Can I just convey this? Now, this is the initial time they came into my apartment ever in regards to a leak. Now, what do you have for that?
There was an air conditioner leak from your air conditioner down into the apartment below you.
Okay, what date was that?
I can give you that date. Hold on.
Thank you. Because I have not been able to communicate with her. I tried to communicate with her and I was nice. And I told her I also had been a tester for the Grand Rapids Housing Commission. And she told me she didn't care. So I let her know that I didn't appreciate what she was doing and understood the law. And she threatened to call the police on me. So I have not been able to communicate with her. And this is the first time I'm actually been able to communicate with her and it's in court. So that's not healthy.
It was July 17th.
Okay, so as of July 17th, and then when was the alleged noise violation?
I have a email with that. The most recent one was 12,
No,
11,
when was
and
the
12,
initial,
12.
well, no, I'm sorry. The
Mhm.
initial noise violation lease infraction that you sent me, because I have evidence of that. And this is what we're gonna start at the beginning. So this is what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, you weren't sent a lease infraction for the noise violation. I have already put in for a 30-day termination by the time I received more noise violations, so I did not infract her on that.
Let me pass on it since she, for some reason, disconnected. This is gonna be more prolonged than what I, quite frankly, thought. Let me get some of the other part of the docket cleared up first, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do I have Charlotte Nance Spencer to come back on?
Your Honor, I have been looking for her and I have not seen her log back into Zoom. She identified as a Zoom user in all her hearings. I've never seen her come back.
Yeah, I'm looking to it. I don't see her either. She must have just decided she had enough. I guess we're in the middle of it and she
She's
never
on.
came back.
She's on
Oh,
mute.
she's at the top there. Okay, I got
Yeah.
her.
I've said it 12 times, yes.
You were on
You
mute.
gotta unmute, ma'am. That's just the way
I was
it
trying
is.
to unmute it. Well, it just said to unmute it just
Okay.
now.
Yeah. I think the reason that is because you kept over talking me. So don't, if you promise me you're not going to over talk me, I'll remove the extra feature there, okay? You understand?
Yes, I never intended to do that ever.
Okay. All right. With that, and as soon as Mr. Devlin gets done, we'll proceed.
I'm ready, Your Honor.
Okay.
She was sort of questioning my client, Your Honor.
Yeah, I think it was sort of. It was. Miss Spencer, any other questions for Ms.
Well, this is the issue. It is discriminatory what Miss Hammonds has done, and
Ma'am, I'm gonna give it,
and
hold
this
on. I'm going to give you a chance to talk. Tell me what you want. Any other questions for her?
I do.
That's
But
all.
what I wanted to state was I
I don't
wanted to
want you to
speak to
do that
legal aid.
yet. No,
Oh, okay.
this is your time to ask questions for her.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a lot, Your Honor, and so I don't know where to start. But I can start at the beginning where I thought the problem was, and that's what I was attempting to do, and the phone disconnected.
Go ahead and continue with the questioning.
Okay. So, Ms. Hammonds, the day that you said that there's water pooling on my floor, was I present in my home?
Your Honor, objection asked and answered.
I need to hear the answer to
Well,
it.
ma'am, you did. You asked it earlier, and she answered.
And the phone dropped the call, so I never heard it.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and do it one more time.
Yes, I corrected the date. It was November 8th, and she was not home, but 2 other people were.
Okay. Now, this is the point. Now, just because you came into my property without permission does not mean someone that is here lives in my home. So you keep trying to establish that is what I'm thinking, but this is besides the point.
Your Honor,
as well.
objection. She's not asking a question.
No, I'm getting ready to pose a question because I am trying to establish in my own thoughts.
Question. Well,
Okay.
Just ask the question.
Okay, she says someone else was there as if it was an issue, but were they made aware of what was happening? Because I was not told anything.
Well, ask the question. That's all you got to do.
Okay, so were the individuals that were here made aware of what you were doing?
Yes, they answered the door, and Andrew told them why we were there, and he stepped back, and Andrew walked in.
Okay, now, there were 7 instances, am I correct, that this leak was supposed to be the air conditioning unit outside, then it was my toilet. Now, they pulled up my toilet how many times and said it was the flange, and they could see that the leak was coming from the flange in the toilet. They said 20 different things. Now, why would I not complain if I had a leak in my place? If it were happening?
Objection, Your Honor.
No, I'm asking her a question.
Your Honor, objection foundation. She's asking her to for knowledge that Miss Spencer would know. She's not asking a question to my client.
Now, what I'm asking her is this. Have I made a complaint for maintenance? Have I made a maintenance complaint ever?
Okay, you can ask that.
I believe you have, but it's been very minimal.
Okay, so what was it in regard to, please?
Okay. On February 28th of 2025, your garbage disposal you thought was leaking, and they replaced it on February 28th.
They replaced it, or did they repair it?
They replaced it.
Okay. I was not aware that they replaced a garbage disposal because I asked for one when they did an inspection yesterday. Okay, so who was present when at the inspection yesterday that was in my apartment?
I call him Andrew, but his technical name is Eric. Eric Andrew Davis was present yesterday.
With whom else?
So was Alex, our other maintenance guy, and 2 township building inspectors.
Okay. Now, so the 2 township building inspectors were in my apartment yesterday. Is that normal protocol?
Yes. Another notice to the whole property that the township would be doing inspections through the majority of the month of January.
Okay.
We gave a schedule.
So that would be a time, if there were any, for a building inspector to know that there's a leak so serious that you had to enter my property and call the authorities allegedly 14 times to enter my property, regardless of whether I was here or not, regardless of what,
Your Honor,
what was,
objection, there's no question.
no, I am posing a question here.
Well,
So I'm asking this. So yesterday, would it have not been a time that the building inspectors would have been made knowledgeable of this leak that you say is so serious that up until the end of October, there was never a late payment ever on my account. So have I ever paid late until you put that notice on my door and had
Well,
them in my apartment more than
to
25
address
times?
what you first said about the leak, we've ruled out any possible leaks happening in the apartment from plumbing. It's just from water being left on the floor or splashed on the floor that's causing the leak.
So Mrs. Hammond, you're suggesting that I live that way? That's what I'm trying to get to. That I put water on my floor when in my restroom and I leave it there.
Yes.
Okay, that's lies. And we know that doesn't make sense. What makes you want to say that?
Because it's leaking down into the apartment below
Okay.
you.
No, what you came into my apartment 12 times, you say, but it's been twice as much. But the initial time you just mentioned to them was July to me actually, because I'm the one to ask the question. Now you said July. There was a tenant here for how many years before these other people came in?
Your Honor, objection, relevance.
Now, its irrelevance is this. Now, this lady lived below me for several months before these new tenants came in and there was no leak that I knew of because she never said a word to me. And so there was another maintenance person until these other individuals showed up. There was no maintenance issues up until then. I made a maintenance call in regards to the garbage disposal because it was not working properly and it had backed up into my dishwasher. And there was a lot of questions there because that's nothing I've ever seen
How
happen.
is it
But
relevant? How's it
well,
relevant?
the point I'm making is this. She's now accusing me of what they told me they were repairing because it was ill repair for the property, the foundation of this property. And all of a sudden now it needs to be me damaging the property when this is not even on the complaint, but we know this is not true in the first place. I have pictures as well. I do not maintain my place in a fashion where I would be having water on the floor and the neighbors are calling 25 times. This is what I'm trying to establish.
The objection sustained. You have to move on.
Okay, so the first, how many times was I told that it was 7 other things before all of a sudden it's now me? Because
Your
I
Honor,
never had, I did, she wants to say it's the washing machine, but I'm just saying this. I was not going to renew my lease, sir, and this is what I'm trying to tell you. And 6 days before that, I had just signed a real estate agreement with my agent, and I'm letting you know that. And I had no intention of renewing the lease because Ms. Hannah was dealing with me in a way that was not appropriate. I have correspondence in that regard, and I was not nasty to her. I was professional, and I am that. I just signed a 3-year lease 4 months ago for my business. We're here, right here in West Acres Commons, 2 minutes away from here. And I am employed and I'm a business owner, have been that for 20 years. And I'm not sure who Ms. Marsha thinks I am, but she has dealt with me in a way that she shouldn't. I was very quiet. I was very nice. I'm not happy now because we're in court for nothing except a lie. And
again,
so
Your Honor,
I
I'm
was,
not seeing a question.
well, the point is this. I want to speak to legal aid because I have filed a complaint in regard.
I gave you a chance to do that. They didn't show up here today. You get nothing. We're proceeding. I gave you the
Okay,
adjournment.
well, they need to do
So
a.
maybe let's do this. So you just mentioned, are you moving?
Yes, I had no intention on staying
When
here.
are you? How long are you? It's going to take you to move. When are you going to move?
Well, I had secured a place by the 21st of November, but I shouldn't have had to move in duress because Ms. Marsh is not being honest and is doing something discriminatory.
So maybe we can just cut through this, Mr. Devil. Maybe if she wants to move, when can you move by?
Well, I want by the end of my lease. This is all I would do, and I don't want negative connotations on there as reference because I'm not doing any of these things. But I did make a formal complaint, and I told her I was doing so.
Hold on. This may not make any sense then. I don't know. When's the lease end, Mr. Devil? Is it close?
8th of February, I believe, Your Honor.
Oh, we got a little while yet. Okay.
And again, my client's looking for immediate eviction on this. There's a continuing property
Immediate
damage.
eviction. You know, they're not putting eviction on me, sir. I don't appreciate that. First of all, I had never been late on my payments. So if I had never been late on my payments, All of a sudden now she needed to find a reason to do something she shouldn't. And so it
Do we
was
have any,
not right.
do we have, hold on, we'll just stick on point then. I took a sidetrack just because I thought we
I have a
were reason.
reputation.
So what? Ma'am, any other questions for Ms. Hammonds?
Okay, I would like to do this. I was ending my lease with them anyway and was just not going to renew it. And so I'm talking to you because I want you to know what she's doing, but it's not important enough to go through it this way. And so I have already did this the right way and I don't want to do it this way because it makes it seem like I'm being inappropriate and I don't like it. So what I would like to do is everyone else had an opportunity to do this in another way. And so if I wanted to discuss a contingency, because he has this position against me as if he knows who I am. And so he's saying this to his client. No, it's supposed to be. So now I'm supposedly have caused damage, but that's not true. So the last officer that was here, I asked him to specifically check to see if there was a leak and to note on the police report. They have called the police 17 times falsely.
Okay, so ma'am.
And so this is what happened.
What are you offering? If you're offering anything, fine. If not, we're just going to continue. We're going to get this through this for both.
I just want to end my lease with them, and I don't want negative connotations. I don't want them putting references that are not true.
So can you move by the end of the month? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, no later than the end of my lease.
Well, that's
my lease. I have no intention. I have no intention on staying here because they're not nice, and so I live here, and they have forced entry into my property. I don't feel safe, so I don't have to live here.
If I say that I would give you till January 30th to move, does that give you?
Well, I don't want it to look like an eviction. I don't want it to look like that. I just want them to go away. I just want my lease to end and me to leave.
Okay, but if you move by that date, Mr. Devlin, just to kind of put this through. If we had an agreement, she moves by January 30th. She moves by that date. If not, then it's an automatic writ of eviction at that point. She moves. Does that work at all?
Yeah, I have to talk to my client. I know that my client wants me to push for the immediate order of eviction.
Yeah.
You know, what is that about? So this is supposed to be someone supposed to allegedly spilled water on the floor and now they have to be evicted right now. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Why?
No, this is what I'm hearing.
Hold on. If you want to talk to them about that, why don't we, if that works, I don't mind doing that just to move it on. But
if she won't leak to the people below or cause any trouble with loud music or any other disturbance that affects her neighbors, we would give her till the 30th.
I don't do that
Your
anymore.
Honor, if I can, I can propose a conditional dismissal to vacate by the 30th, amend the natural termination date of the lease to January 30th. 4B, conditional dismissal, if there is an issue with standing water or noise violation or any other lease violation included with an affidavit of non-compliance, I can file for writ of eviction.
This is what I would like too. Can I add why he's saying that? Because why would I pay rent somewhere that I'm supposed to have a leak so bad I can't use my restroom? This is where the problem becomes another issue. Now there is monetary issues because I have a 7-day because I haven't paid. Now, up until Ms. Marcia made that false statement against me, there was not one late payment on the record. My payments are on the first every time. So until November 1st, when she told me I had until November 23rd, I made a half month's payment because I have to now secure another place, and I did that, and I was supposed to move out if I wanted to. Now, I shouldn't have to leave under these circumstances, and my lease was ending anyway, and I wasn't going to renew it. Now, they're sending me documentation in regards to even renewing it.
Hold on. You keep going on now. If that's not agreeable, we'll just continue, and I'll make some decisions, I guess. Mr. Devlin, I thought we were getting someplace. I don't.
They want me to pay for it somewhere. They say that I can't live without a leak every few minutes. Why would I? Does that make sense?
And Mr. Devlin?
I'll try again, Your Honor. Ma'am, I am stating that we will change the ending date of your lease until the 30th of January. We will give you until the 30th. However, if you have a lease violation between now and the 30th, we can come back to the court. So you're saying you don't have any lease violations. You're saying you don't want this on your record. I'm dismissing this case based off your promise that you will A, leave by the 30th, and B, not have any lease violations. This is what you've said you wanted.
Yes, I expect that because I don't have them to begin with. And so this is why I'm asking you. In regards to that, I'm agreeing to that. I'm agreeing to that because this is what the point was to begin with. But what
Okay,
I'm
so
saying is Ms. Marsha has put me in a position now that is also monetary. So I will be back in there with that because now that's another issue because this is the issue she created by saying that this was happening. Now there's 17 work orders stating it's something else. Now all of a sudden I'm violating my lease by allegedly having water on the floor. That's not even in the complaint. That's a lie. And so that's not true, but that's what she's telling you that happened. So now I don't have the opportunity to say, hey, there's a leak. You know, I need you to come help me in my place. Now, somehow it needs to be me leaking things. Now, it was the floor, it was the flange and the steel 4 times they changed it. I don't
Your
know.
Honor, I
This is what
can't
they're
tell if she's
telling me.
agreeing or not.
I don't
Well, I've
know.
already said that. I said I've agreed to that, but there's
Okay,
also
so hold
monetary
on.
questions. This is all I'm
No,
saying.
there's no. Okay, so sounds like we got an agreement, Mr. Devlin. Just exactly what you said. No lease violations. She moves
She
out by
made
the
those up is the
30th.
point I was making.
She moves out by the 30th, and the case gets dismissed, and we're done. Otherwise, you can come back in. Okay.
Understood, Your Honor. I will set that, I guess, as, do you want that as a conditional dismissal?
Yeah, I think that's probably the easiest way to do it.
I
Just do it.
agree.
Wow.
Conditional
Ma'am,
dismissal by hearing. I mean, she's agreed to it on record.
There is a civil investigation for housing discrimination.
Yeah,
And
ma'am,
so
that's
there's that.
Yeah,
fine.
man,
That's
we've got
totally
that.
different.
Okay, so
That's
just so you
totally
know.
different.
Okay,
That's totally different.
all right.
Yeah,
Because
do
I'm
it.
Miss
trying to
You
Man,
figure
know
out
what?
how I'm supposed to have
Let's do
water on my
this.
floor.
Let's do this. We'll do a conditional dismissal. She's acknowledged she's,
No, I'm supposed to
agreeing
live
to
like
it.
whatever that is Ms. Marsha's pretending.
She's agreeing to it.
I'm
We'll
gonna
do it
do
by
this.
hearing and I
I
guess.
don't live like her.
I guess, Your Honor, I'll put in the paragraph 3,
No, I'm supposed to be doing whatever
consent to on record entered via hearing.
Yeah, that'll work.
We're supposed to be on.
Okay,
We're supposed to be
I'll
putting
submit it,
water
Your
on our
Honor. Have a
floors.
good day.
Right.
Thank
All
you.
right. We're all done.
And the races, and I can see it. And so
Miss
the state,
Spencer, Miss Spencer, we're all done.
okay. Yep. And so I'm licensed by the state in 5 different areas. I don't know who she
Okay.
thinks she's
Yeah.
doing this to, but she's not nice. We'll
Okay.
just say
Yeah.
that.
There's always
Thank
people
you.
there. Nice. All right. Good luck to you, man. Bye.
Thanks. Oh, I also have a.
All right. And let's see, Scott Shantz.
Yes, sir.
Shantz, you got off on the monitor when I was giving my decision.
I wasn't aware of the fact that there was a waiting period. I figured 8:30 was 8:30. I was on here for 40 minutes.
And that happens. That's what happens when you're in court, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I tried to be pretty good about it, but sometimes things happen.
Well, I drove all the way to Flint to find out what happened, and they told me that it could be a waiting period, which it doesn't say on the form. So I apologize
Sure, it's not
for
going to say
getting
that.
off.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you got off, and I made a decision. Okay. I granted summary disposition based on MCR 2.116C9 and C10. And you'll get a copy of that order in the mail.
Okay. So I don't get a chance to adjudicate that at all?
You can do whatever you want at this time. If you want to file something to have me reconsider it or do whatever you want, you can do that. But now I made a decision. Okay?
Well, I don't know what you're going to get.
Next time, stay on there for me. Okay?
Well, there's no explanation on it, which probably should be corrected by the court on this form, saying, hey, hang out until you get called. Because I sat here for quite a while and it just spinning and spinning and spinning.
Everybody does. Yeah, everybody does. Yeah. Good luck to you.
Whatever.
Em, you're back. We're all done.
Well, I was explaining before this that I had a warrant to swear in, and I've been doing it for 4 weeks trying to get on. And so somehow Miss Marshall's thing came before my warrant, swearing I was a victim.
What was it from? What? Let me see if I can find it.
Yep, it was from Walmart, Flint Township Police Department, the prosecutor. And so
Warrant
Ms.
for?
Marcus,
Are you a victim or?
yes, and I was not working with that individual, and I work with people all day.
Okay, I've got. Let's see. I've got a Christopher King warrant.
Her name was Erica
Here.
Kilgore. I think they found her via the video. They were able to locate her. She threw hot coffee in my face.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I got it here. Hold on. Just a minute.
There's mirrors on the lines, all in the documentation, everything. She said all kinds of stuff to me, and it was people moving out. And so she did not secure the interests of the individuals that live here. She didn't say, hey, ma'am, we're not sure why they're doing it, but they're smoking marijuana here. But the state doesn't care, and so I didn't call.
Hey, Miss Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Spencer.
Yes.
I don't have it in front of me. Was it one? Did you go through Flint Township Police Department?
Yes, I was at work, and I live in Flint Township as right now, and I live and work here. And so I'm not sure what Ms. Marcia is saying, but I work in front end services. I work in financial services.
Yeah,
And
but you swear out. But you're here to swear out a warrant for as a victim, right?
yes.
Yeah, I don't have it in. I don't have one in front of me. I don't know whether Flint Township hasn't turned it in.
No, it's been there. It was there last week. Well, when I spoke to the ladies on, okay, I'm not sure what happened to the video. Uh-oh, it just keeps going. Okay, when I spoke to the ladies, they told me to go on and then tell you that. And so I've tried to do it 5 times.
But I
This
don't
isn't
have
the
anything
first.
in front of. Yeah, I don't have anything in front of me for you right now with a warrant. I got nothing.
Okay. Okay, so it's myself as a plaintiff and it's Erica Kilgore. So myself and Walmart, and then it's Erica Kilgore is the defendant. And so I'm not sure where it's at right now, but I've been trying to get through to it. And so do they have to set it up?
Is it a? You've got a number of people in there. Is it a civil case or a criminal case?
It's a criminal case from assault.
Okay. Yeah, we don't.
How's that work?
Yeah, and that maybe. Let me just give you our phone number. The only thing I can do is transfer you to talk to my clerks. Okay. I don't have anything in front of me right now. I've got.
Okay.
It's Let me give you the number. Okay.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay. And I was just showing you my place so you don't think that I live like a fool. I just don't know what to say.
I'm sure you are. I'm not doubting that. I'm really not. I'm just trying to help you out and get through it, and you're really okay.
Okay.
It's 810 257 3170.
Mm-hmm.
And explain to them that you're a victim on an assault case and that you were to swear out a warrant, okay?
Okay.
And if they tell you, well, you got to talk to Judge Goggins, tell them you just talked to me and I don't have the warrant.
Okay. And, I didn't want to speak a lot on the other thing. I just wanted to talk to legal aid, but they hadn't called me back. And so I was just trying to tell you that. So everything that I was trying to explain right then needed to be talked through the attorney filter first. I just hadn't spoken to them.
Yeah, well, and I appreciate that. I really do. I don't know where they were today either, but
Miss Marcia has harassed me, and you may know her, but she has had the police at my place 14 times after the lie began. And so the first, I want to send the correspondence to you so you could just read it, and I don't have to say much, and then you'll understand.
Well, you know what? Honestly, this is a better resolution for you. There's not going to be a judgment. There's nothing. It just you just agree to move on that date, and it looks like on the paperwork, it's just going to show that that's your move out date. That's it. It's
well, I don't want it to look like I was evicted because she's lying.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not going to. It's not going to show up like that at all.
It's not healthy for her to do what she's doing because I told her, and that's why I told her, I said, I worked for the Grand Rapids Housing Commission. I don't think she understands what that means. They sent us out as testers to make sure that discrimination doesn't happen. So I've been trained to know what it is. I'm not saying that just to say it. She did this to me for nothing. I never said a word to her.
If there's some, if there's some action there, I would, tell you, you need to follow through with it. Really. That's something I don't have in front of me right now. Okay.
Okay, yeah, and I didn't want you to have to deal with it that way because it's 25 things to talk about, and really, I just didn't want to do it. I wanted to tell the attorney so that he could present the best information to you that you needed to hear. And really, what I was trying to establish was Ms. Marsha didn't tell the truth, and she just started harassing me and wanted to look like it was one thing, but it was something else, and she's just not being true. And she just wasn't being true.
Make sure if you get a call from legal services too, tell them the same thing. Okay. But you've got. It sounds like you got your other claim going on anyways, which is probably more important.
Yeah, but that may take 7 months. But she's doing this to my life today, and so she's made me miss 20 appointments. They keep saying there's a leak, but that is the only way they can gain entry forcibly without me saying, being able to say no. And so she keeps using that, and that's not nice. But I'm just showing you, I don't live like that. So
are you kidding me? Oh my God! You have got to be kidding me! What is going on today? This is a joke. Today is absolute joke. We need an interpreter.
I need an interpreter when I cannot spread myself from.
Oh my God, sir, put that cigarette out. I don't give a crap that you are outside of this. What is wrong with everybody today? You know what, Miss Reed, we're going to start bringing people in for You're going to learn how to act in a courtroom.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Ma'am? Ma'am? Can you hear it? Okay.
I grab my bag and hit the dash. I'm the one that needs the drink.